And isn't it good to have Soph back? The assassinator, she's cleaned them up in Ireland, and now she's doing her best work back in Australia.
Indeed.
Oh, it's fantastic.
She's been wonderful, and as we get towards the end, she deserves massive kudos and credit for keeping us in line.
Putting up with us.
Over the last couple of years on a Sunday morning. She's been one of my favourite workmates over the duration. And
nothing going on there, just a ethical relationship?
Very ethical,
professional?
all above board.
Yeah, okay.
Like myself and you, Marty, all very much above board.
Okay.
Well, during business hours anyway. What I would like to say is yesterday had one of our loyal listeners in Alco who sends through regular texts and the like, come and say hello and thank us for providing him with some wonderful entertainment over the years, and I was really humbled by the discussion we had. He loved the afternoon show in particular, Marty, that tunes into, and the aftermath, and he loves the Friday Funny. When I team up with Diggers and the boys, he said, you start my weekend on the right note. So a huge thank you to you, Alco, for coming in. You certainly pumped up my tyres yesterday, made me feel okay, and there's going to be lots of listeners like this, Marty. And look, it's not exactly the time, but you've discussed it and brought it up, and I just want to thank all of the industry and everybody we've worked with, because they've made it so much fun.
Oh, yes.
And it's all for the punters, it's all for the industry. That's what it's been all about on the way through, and we're both going to miss it enormously. There's no stepping away from that. So mornings like this make my week, Marty. Having you back at the station has been a wonderful, wonderful coup in recent times, and I'm going to miss our Sunday mornings together.
And we've got one more next week, Shorty, so it's good that we can finish it off together next week. Now, we've got the Breeders' Cup unfolding over there at Del Mar. Where's your TARDIS? Come on.
Ooh, I'd like to press the go button right about now.
Del Mar, wouldn't it be great, all that history there? But the Breeders' Cup turf has been run and won and taken out by Willie Mullins. He's got absurd in the Cup on Tuesday, produces Ethical Diamond out of the Ebor, if you don't mind. And I did win the Ebor for Dylan Brown McMonigal and descends on them from back in the field, looped them and wins at $23.05. Rebels Romance, who I think most of the punters would have been on, was leaders back. They ran a race record, and the leader just got back into its lap, and Willie Buick, he couldn't find the run when he needed it, got out late, but the bird had flown, and El Cordobes was back in third. There is I think it's about a 5 or 6 minute little video special on Dylan Brown McMonigal. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
I'll send it to you.
He's a favourite of mine.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It tracks him from when he was a little tyke.
Yeah.
A little boxer. Growing up tough in Ireland, all he wanted to do was ride horses, and he has his first ride in one of those beach races when he's about 12.
Wow.
Flashes home and runs fourth. It is spine-tingling stuff, so I'll make sure I send that to you.
That's why I've had a bit of love for the man. He came out here for a period, and a bit like Tommy Marquand. These European jockeys that come here and actually spend time learning through. Sheen Murphy did the same thing as a younger man. These guys that have come across here, though, and ridden in Australia and really cut their teeth and worked out how to ride in different jurisdictions. I have enormous love and passion for how they go about it, because it would be easy for them to just be in their comfort zone, in their own little world up there where they're getting the plum rides. They go outside of that comfort zone. They learn how to ride on different tracks for different trainers, and it makes them much better in the long run.
100%. And the other thing, it just works in beautiful with their, say, early October, their season really finishes up there. So make your way down here and ride during our carnival, and then all the way through until about February, and then head back home. Yeah. And you may even pull a bit of Hong Kong in there as well.
Or Japan. I think listening to an interview with Tommy Marquand yesterday, he's here for a fortnight, and then he's got a 2-month contract up in Japan. Well, they are incredibly lucrative, those contracts. If you can get up there for 8 weeks. Damien Lane's done it. Craig Williams has done it. Yep. You get up there, Marty, you cash in on the yen, head back home with plenty in the bank. It just takes pressure off.
Very popular place now. 2 new Prime Minister. It's all going one way for Japan, and that is up. Hi, Marty Shortte. Thanks for your efforts and laughs over many years on Tab Radio. See you around. The only negative thing about you guys in the Wolf team, you guys support Fins Up Bluey, and GP worker for many years. Old Fins Up is a bit. Now get your texts in. We need them today. 2 more to do, so get them in today on 0427 789 for Retrovision, and we're also going to give our great mates at Morley Mitsubishi a good plug today as well. They've got those Pajeros on special. Plenty of racing to talk about, Shorty.
Don't forget the Melbourne Cup Garden Party at the Gate Bar. Bistro either, Marty.
I think we're starting to fill it up, talking to Stromy and the Ashby. They got the new video wall out there. It's outstanding.
Beautiful.
Currumbine TAB. Make sure you head out there as well in Marmion Avenue in Currumbine. Here's one from George. Enjoyed the racing yesterday. Heartbreaking watching Eddie's interview with Tom Preble. Must admit I had tears in my eyes. Just remind you, thoroughbred racing is the most dangerous sport in the world. Would there be a family that's had as much heartbreak than the Payne family? Regards, George.
Well, it's been tough.
Very tough.
Thank you, George. And you're 100% right. We don't take it for granted, but the people involved in this sport are so brave and tough, and take some tough risks at different times. Also, just with that as well, I wanted to pass on our best to the family of Don Martin with that
Donnie.
news passing through. Yeah. Speaking of great contributors to our programs over the years, when I was hosting the Brekkie Show many years ago, Don would regularly light up the SMS line and send through feedback from a bookie's perspective, and much loved man in our industry and by his family. So sending our condolences to all of the Martin family today.
Definitely been tough for the Satchel Swingers, hasn't it? Lindsay Severn and now Donnie. A couple of absolute icons of the ring just passing away.
Indeed.
In the last little bit. Just before we go to James Sully Sullivan, plenty of racing to talk about, so get your texts in. But the Derby, you were all over Observer, and got out to a good price, $2.45. It was odds on this time last week, wasn't it?
It was, and let's not forget, like we talked about it, how it switched off late, and you think there'd be more there. I tell you what, it was Mark Zahra had one thing in mind: I'm rolling to the top, and if you can get past me, good luck to you. And it just kept on kicking in the home straight. It was a really strong performance. Most impressed by it. Geez, punters that chimed into Cora, Deal fast into the trifecta's first four was handsomely rewarded with the fave winning, Marty. 1,860 the try. The first four, $55,681. We're talking off air. If you do like to play the first fours, Melbourne and Sydney on a Saturday are the time to bet. You get big pools. If you happen to get a 50-1 or 100-1 pop into your numbers, you're getting paid what you should get paid. You get similar numbers in a midweek style of race. That might only pay 12,000, 14,000 because there's not enough money in the pool to go around. 100%. So they're the days to play them. But well done to anybody that chimed in with a bit of field.
I can tell you the tomato flogger got a little bit of it. That's what he does best.
Excellent.
And the previous race, a Coolmore stud, I haven't seen one walk into the ring and look as glowing as 10 Tyrus. It just picked itself, and then the market followed it in.
Big time.
It got plunged.
The two Blue Army runners were Polacs, weren't they? Bivucked and also 10 Tyrus.
I think Bivucked earlier.
Yeah, because they were both around 5 when markets opened. And
10 Tyrus was just a cave-in job.
$3.
If you can do yourself a favour, there is a photo, I think, on it on racing.com winning. Just have a look at the size of the muscle and it's just a sculpted horse. And when you listen to Sam Friedman, he said, no, this was his Group 1. He hadn't won a Group 1. Bayvocht had up there.
Yep.
So I reckon Godolphin would have thought, well, the best result for us is 10 Tyrus to win this. Zahra sat back. Speed was insane. They ran 1:8.10. And he just flew home. My Gladiola had to wait for 10 Tyrus to go to get onto his back, followed it through. She was great. I thought she was the danger to either of the Godolphins. And what you're talking about, novelties, the Quinella, it paid $22.30. I thought it was massive.
Yeah, that's
because the World Pool, they love the Quinellas in Hong Kong.
Don't they start unders the favourites in the world pools compared to fixed?
But then Observer, I 245. I thought it was going to cave right in.
Yeah, so 215 it ended up on tote, 250 fixed.
Yeah, okay,
Observer.
there you go.
So again, the fave in almost every world pools race I've ever seen ends up being significantly under the fixed price. But the flip side of that is if you can get the fave beaten, you're often getting a much better price on tote than what you are.
The other flip side of that is too, Shorty. The big punters, they can get $100,000 on it, 200 on.
Big time.
You're going to struggle to get that on with the Satchel Swingers in the corporates.
Big style.
So there you can just bet into that big pool and you'll get set. What about Pride of Jenny before we go to Sul?
Marty, my goodness.
Oh.
I tell you, I must admit, like, there's been a couple of, second comings of Pride of Jenny, and I've sort of thought, I thought she was retired, and she's come back, and this time back, she's been magnificent. And I tell you what, you've got to give massive props to Kieran Maher.
Oh, he just keeps it going.
Because Pride of Jenny's lobbed into his lap late in the piece, and he's gone, well, they've tried a few different things here. What have I got left up my sleeve that I could potentially use? Well, whatever he's wheeled out from the sleeve has certainly worked, because she's come back and just kept rolling there yesterday. And, I mean, this was a high-quality lineup. You look at some of the opposition, Fangirl, like a Lucy's going great guns at the moment, Splashback, Idle, Flyer, On Display. They're all really nice horses, but once she got into that comfort zone rolling, you just don't run it down.
You just can't beat her. It's impossible when she's in that frame of mind and everything lines up. So this is our last hour today from 7 and 8. Bernie Miller. Oh. We had him on Friday. We've got him on again today. We've got to talk to him about... I want to rave on about this horse.
Talk about feet on the dashboard.
Oh, Aiden Campo, we had him on Friday night, and didn't he tear it up here at GP, winning the WA Derby? Declan Bates, we're going to talk to Batesy about that win on in the Empire Rose on Pride of Jenny, and then Paul Stuart had a good night last night at Cannington.
And always does, and one of our favourites over the years, so fitting that we get him back on. Of course, the Young Stars heats were on there last night, so we'll chat to him about that.
Here's Sully, a very good morning.
Hello, Marty Shortte. Geez, the Friday night mail's good, isn't it? We've had a good year Friday night, boys.
We've missed you.
Well, big time.
We've been missing you.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what wasn't it a great night when you think overnight? Australia v England and a couple of codes. 1-1. But, very interesting game of rugby league. I got up very early this morning over here in the east and watched the game, and then I thought, gee, who's this bloke next to Munster at the start? He's back.
Did you see that?
Oh, it's humour.
Back.
Jarvo.
Oh, Jarv Cat. The old Jarv Cat's done it again.
Explain what happened.
Oh, well, all of a sudden you see the national anthem. There's a bloke with Jarvo 69 and next to Cam Munster. Cam Munster just has a little look at him, and he said, it must be someone who's won a corporate opportunity. Not realising it's the serial pest. We've seen him in Ashes Tests. We've seen him in World Cups of soccer. They end up arresting him, apparently. They got him a bit later, but I think it's gold. Jarvo 69.
We'd be in a bit of trouble if everyone was doing it, but you can't help but get a little bit of humour out of this. Well, it's a phenomenal effort to get through the security to get himself out there. He must have a couple of tricks and just to be able to lurk through and not get seen. But this is a moment he'll look back on and get plenty of mirth out of. Now let's talk a bit about the Kangaroos, though. They continue on their merry way, Sul. And one thing, I think the last three games of NRL that I've watched, the NRL Grand Final and then the two Kangaroos games against England, the speed of ball movement has noticeably been at a phenomenal level and has been just intense. It's been so good to watch, and the skill set of these top liners for the Kangaroos and in that NRL Grand Final, I can't remember seeing cleaner, quicker ball movement, which has made for phenomenal viewing.
Well, I tell you what, and the big difference between that grand final and what we've seen in these two Ashes games in particular, and I'm giving the groundskeeper at Everton's new ground an absolute whack here. Fair dinkum, mate. Mark some lines. Because honestly, I don't think referee Grant Atkins knew where he was last night, because you could touch the opposition. That's how offside they were all game. It was the speed that was the thing. There wasn't a lot of opportunities last night. As we saw, what about that? 90 seconds and we got two players in the bin. Big Tino and Dom Young sent to the bin for a little bit of an indiscretion. Litton and, Harry Grant on the ground having a bit of a push. And then Grant Atkins, mate, he was like a kangaroo in headlights. He said, I better send someone off here. So he put them both in the bin. 4 all at half time, Shorty and Marty.
Yep.
2 penalty goals. That was the key. And then Cameron Munster. I thought Cameron Munster and Cleary, as they did in game one, the first test last week, just controlled play nicely. Kicking game from Cleary was the key. But I tell you what, England, they'll rue, because you know how I love me little stats halfway through a game. At the 23rd minute, England had 62% of the footy and had absolutely pounded the Australian defensive line. Just couldn't turn it into points, boys. That was a big difference for me. They got a machine called Herbie Farnworth. He's like a Ferrari.
Yep.
He's on the right edge. They kept going to the left. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't matter in the end.
Gee, there was nothing in those send-offs, it was a bit of push and shove. I was looking at it now.
Well, that's the thing. I think he got a little bit, I better make something out of this.
Yeah.
If anything, they want to go back and watch Lytton with the headbutt. If anything, that's what I think sort of stirred it all up. There was nothing. There was no need for them to be sent to the sin bin. At the end of the day, one from each team didn't affect it. But
Yep.
we retained the Ashes. That's the key. And obviously, Sean Wayne, I think he's got one more test in charge of this England rugby league side because, yeah, they tried the aggressive way. They tried to take us on, and really, and they got out of the line quickly defensively. But Australia, as I said, the calmness of Grant and Munster and Cleary. Geez, I love watching Munster and Cleary play together. They just complement each other so nicely.
Yeah, that top-end talent's just elite, isn't it? It's great to watch the real, genuine stars of the game playing together. It's a luxury we have in the rugby league that we don't in the other game that's big in winter in the AFL. But they sort of, the State of Origin coming up will be potentially the first time you get to see a bunch of those stars all on the same team at the same time. But it's glorious to watch when the absolute, top of the wazza players get around in the same team. It just creates magic moments on the sporting field, that's for sure. Now, Sul, what's the latest news in relation to the Bears? They're doing their best to get the checkbook out and get some big names thinking about moving across here to the West. Have you got a name or two for us potentially that we can keep an eye out for that might be coming across as some big signings for the Bears?
Well, I had heard, I just thought maybe a player who played last night, Lindsay Smith, the front row from the Panthers, maybe one. But I like what they're doing at the moment. They're just being patient. And they're just waiting because, as you said, they've got a big treasure chest. Doing things right, aren't they? The big announcement during the week with Gage Roads coming on as a sponsor. So that's always good to have a brewer involved in your football club, any club. But that's a massive sponsorship for them. So, yeah, at the moment, it's just, I haven't heard too much, Shorty, but there was a name that popped up. I think Lindsay Smith would be a great signing, still young, got a little bit of footy in him, but I tell you what, it's going to be exciting just to see what happens. There's a lot of players who have put their hand up and said they want to go on the open market, not only to test the open market, but to increase their value at their actual existing club. Colin Matungi's a perfect example of that from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. But I tell you what, I saw a side yesterday that are going in the year after the Bears, and that's the PNG boys, the Chiefs. Geez, they were good, defeating Fiji 50-18 yesterday in that Pacific Bowl. So, yeah, I think it's an exciting opportunity now if you're a rugby league player.
Yeah, there's going to be some wonderful opportunities across here in Perth and indeed across the entire competition. Now, what do you make of the latest news in relation to Ryan Papenhuyzen and his potential moving from the Storm to be a part of this new Rebel Super League?
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing how quick, isn't it? I tell you what, just to let the listeners and yourselves know, I loved it yesterday. Ryan Papenhuyzen announced Wednesday, maybe Thursday, that he wasn't going to be at the Melbourne Storm next year, and then obviously further. Yesterday, he comes up on the news, they got former NRL player. Oh, give me strength. He's still an NRL player, but who knows? And listening to his statement, Shorty and Marty, he said, I just want to break. And I think the big thing with Pappy's, we all know he Clive Churchill medal a few years ago, outstanding player, but he's been bashed up a bit of late. But the opportunity, it's sort of, since Peter V'landys came out and said we're going to whack players with 10-year bans, 360's gone that little bit quiet. And I'm not sure if it's because, obviously, November 1, players can move on, or the Kangaroos are away. We've had the Pacific Championships, but it's all gone that little bit quiet. But I think Papenhuyzen will end up there. Will he end up at another NRL club next year? Who knows?
Now, Sal, they tell me you're busy broadcasting today. Is that right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's day 3 of the NRL Wheelchair Rugby League Championships. So, I've been doing that. We had the first test, an Ashes series as well over here, lads. England versus Australia. England are world champions. They won the first test in a tight game on Thursday, and we got the final of the Wheelchair Championships on NRL.com this afternoon, and then the second test 1 o'clock your time. So if you want to watch something a little bit different, lads, just jump on NRL.com at 1 o'clock your time. England versus Australia. England, Shorty. My God, they're good in a chair.
What about Nara today? You got a winner for the punters?
Well, I hope it's not only for the punters, I hope it's for me. But, yeah, we've got my horses racing. Race 5, number 3 at Nara, Rocco Leaney. So over 1,400. Looking forward to a better performance. Who knows? About $8, lads. That'll do me.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Sal, we'll do it again. Thanks for coming on the Aftermath this morning.
No worries, lads. Stay safe. Chat next Sunday.
Cheers, Sal.
There he goes, James Sully Sullivan. Be good to round it out with him now. We've just had the classic run at Del Mar.
Just in behind. Fierceness is coming. Sierra Leone and journalism. They're coming to the finish. And it is forever young. Celebrate Japan. They've won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sierra Leone was second. Fierceness was third in a final.
Well, the form holds up there. The price was massive, Shorty. $3.50. I thought it'd be nearly odds on.
Yeah,
Forever Young.
370, 340 tote. And what's just another example when these middle distance / staying races are on, these Japanese horses, the way that they have bred over time, they just have superior stayers. They really do. And this galloper, turned up with nearly 11 mil in the bank. Wonderful record. Win a 9 of 12. Goes on to get the job done. And the way they present their horses, Marty, we're lucky enough to go up to Hong Kong with Wes and Richie going back a number of years ago now. But the way that their horses are presented on race night is just a different level. You can see your own reflection in their coats. They've got their own handlers, sometimes two, and
mostly two.
They are just so relaxed and calm, and there is nothing left to chance. They are absolute professionals.
This is the horse that beat Romantic Warrior at Riyadh. Remember when Romantic Warrior had it dead and come back and beat it, and there was talk about the ride, etc. And then Sierra Leone, who it beat, it was favourite for the Classic last year, so the form's held up out of that race. But the Japs have done it again. As I said earlier on, they're in terrific form. New Prime Minister, they're heading north, not south, and $3.40 there for Forever Young. So we'll keep an eye on this Breeders' Day. It's a massive, massive day. The next race coming up, William Buick is on the favourite Notable Speech at $2.70. This is the Breeders' Cup Mile, and it is due to go at 7:05, so that'll fit in nicely. We'll just come off the news and go into a live broadcast of that Saarland 550. The Lion in Winter, a lot of people will know this horse at 550, and Rhetorical is 950 with Johannes at 11. So that race coming up at 7:05, the Breeders' Cup Mile.
On the Aftermath, you are listening to Marty Young and David Shortte right here on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Yeah, about to catch up with Chris Nelson and have a look at racing yesterday at Randwick. What a day it was too. We didn't touch on that because we got Chriso coming up. I don't know what's going on there. He's just gas bagging at the moment. Don't worry about us, Soph. We'll just hang on. There he is. Chris Nelson joins us now. G'day, Chris.
Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Shorty. Sorry, I was just waffling there.
That's okay. No, that's all right. Sunday morning, having a chat to Soph. That's very understandable. Chris, you had a bit of an interesting afternoon there yesterday, of course, following all the action at Randwick, but was keeping in touch with you through the day for the half-time activity, and we only ended up getting through 4 races there at the farm.
Yeah, well, that's what we sort of expected. They were forecasting basically anything was possible yesterday. It didn't really... I suppose it didn't really eventuate to what they've suggested. Maybe in some areas. I did see a poor guy driving in his car and the hail was coming through his windscreen. He had blood all over his legs, so he might have thought it was pretty severe. But most areas didn't, but the lightning was the problem, and the lightning just wouldn't go away, and it was going to keep on coming. And they have that rule. If there's lightning in the area, then you can't race for half an hour. So we're just getting pushed further back and further back. So what that means is we've got 11 races at Eagle Farm on Tuesday. So a big day there.
Oh, it'll be a massive day there. And the weather forecast for Tuesday?
Well, we've just got storms here and there. So they're liable to pop up in the evening, the afternoon. So I don't think we're in any... Well, having said that, storms have lightning. So there's always a chance, but we should, fingers crossed, be okay. First
event at Randwick that we're going to look at, it was the win of Rotagilla here for Waller and Clark. What a day Waller had. My goodness.
Oh, what a day indeed. The bank account for he and J-Mac would have gone through the roof. Likes the wet, this horse, Roddy Giller, and I think that track yesterday, maybe not this first race, but as the day wore on, I think it was probably worse than a soft 7. Had a gun run, very good first up, didn't get a lot of room in the straight there and probably should have finished closer. So the riding was probably on the wall, but just rounded them up and was too strong late, won by over 2 lengths. I thought Strawberry Impact was good, looks very close to a win. Belle Detal is a mare that we know well. She's very, very classy. She ran on well first up. And the Japanese visitor, Asana, who led, probably had every chance the way the race was run, pulled up with a minor laceration. So I don't think we'll be seeing Asana anytime soon in Australia, but there were excuses there.
Okay, on to race number 3. Bravissima, a $41 winner if you don't mind. And the rank outsiders run third, Miss Emma. Transcend split them at $1.30. What happened here in the third, Chris?
Well, I wanted to touch on this race because it was a real lack of tempo, and Bravissima just had the best time in front of all time. Was luckless first up. This was obviously a tougher race, but the way it panned out tempo-wise, they were going to struggle to get past Bravissima, and that was the case. We look back through the form of this horse, it's not that bad, actually, so probably wasn't a $41 shot. Transcend, first run from New Zealand, I thought was quite a solid local debut. Miss Emma, you mentioned there, shorty at odds. Well, she was close up in the run, so that enables her to run a place at $101. Now, the favourite, Delicious, definitely tempo against, was last in the run, and the jockey, J-Mac, did report that he didn't think she handled the soft ground. So that she is a definite forgive. That race may be a complete forgive too going forward.
Okay, the 4 pillars midway. Son of Deck, Jay Hopkins and Jean Van Overmere wins. Carries the big weight, 61 kilos. Second horse was good.
Yeah, the second horse was unbelievable. The second horse was a huge run. This Son of Deck had a nice run along the fence and then cut the corner. Good ride. No doubt about that. Cut the corner into the straight, took over soon after, and often running in the straight was too strong late. But look, he reversed the runs. If Meridiana had that sort of run or was even a little bit closer, I'd say it was 7 lengths off at the 300-metre mark when she finally was able to see some daylight. And then she's made up all that ground to be beaten 0.65 of a length officially. She was huge. She was clearly the run of the race, and clearly a horse we'll have in the black book going forward. She was only second up, so we'll probably see her a few more runs this time in before she goes for a break. Phillipsburg ran third. I thought he ran on quite well, but all honours there with the second horse. Should have been all honours, put it that way.
Meridiana, it'll wait for next time around. On to race number 7, the Russell Balding Stakes. Jimmy Star loaded up and boom, late in the piece. Jimmy's far too good. Lady Shenandoah finished off nicely. Marzu back in third, and Coal Crusher, nice consistent type from the Joe Pride camp back in fourth.
Yeah, he just had the lovely run here, didn't he, Jimmy Star? Ethan Brown on the fence there, and when the gap came in the straight, you knew he was just going to dash through it, and that's exactly what he did. He's a really good horse, isn't he? He's up there with it. Clearly, he's just a cracker, this horse. I would love to see him. Now, you know how many race winners I've trained, guys. Absolutely none. I would love to see him first up into an Everest. I don't think he's sharp enough when he's second or third up. And I know 1,300, 1,400 is his best trip. So he needs to be sharp at 1,200 metres. And I just thought the way he won that Oakley Plate first up, when he just exploded over the top of the leaders, I'd love to see him first up in an Everest. But that's just my theory. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Kieran Maher's trained a few more than I have, guys. There's no doubt about that. So you think he would know. Look, all honours with the winner. He deserved that win. 1,300, 1,400 is his go. He was dominant. Great ride from Ethan Brown. As you mentioned, Shorty, Lady Shenandoah. Good to see her back in better form, returning to Sydney with a placing there. Of the others, Marzu was game on speed because they did go pretty hard. And Private Eye, he got too far back, but he ran on well. Poor old Rothfire, he raced wide throughout, so you can forgive his run. But he's a class above these, to my eye, Jimmy Star.
Listeners, this is a program last week. If you didn't throw Coal Crusher into your novelties, you need a little spank on the bottom, because Joseph Pride told us, remember, when we said all the ones who ran, off the scene, he said, yeah, Coal Crusher, he said they went too quick in front. So that first 4 really kicked out with Coal Crusher in it.
5.5.
And Marzu was there to be found. So Joe Pride trains 3rd, 4th and 5th. Pretty good effort, isn't it? And what do you make of the Japanese run of Strauss?
Wide gate, not too bad. $26 shot. Marty, I'll be totally honest, I'll have to go back and have another look.
let's go to the Golden Eagle.
You got me there.
No, that's fair. A little nick to the keeper. That's all right, Chris. So we move on.
It's only because I haven't looked at it either. I don't know how it went.
We've just seen a Japanese runner take out the feature there in Delmar. We can tell you that much, Chris. Anyway, on to race number 8, the Golden Eagle, and it was Autumn Glow to the fore here. Wow, what a phenomenal horse putting together this unbeaten record now. It just keeps on extending, and yesterday, many were saying it's the biggest acid test. Well, Autumn Glow's handled that no problem at all. Seppels, credit to Seppels and Cliffy Brown. Seppels, let's not forget, last time out there at Caulfield, ran dead last in the Toorak. It was knocked around early. But many people may have pulled up stumps at that stage, but Cliffy said, no, we're backing this horse in. Let's go to what it did prior. Ran a really good race for second yesterday. Evaporate was back in third, and Depth of Character at big odds back in fourth.
Well, the times in this race are just huge. The early section, they've gone like the absolute clappers. They've gone 32.68 between the 1400 and the 800. So they have flown here. So that second horse, Seppels, was a very, very good run to hold on and run second, considering it was third in the run. Autumn Glow, she sat 3 wide. She had cover. She was 4 deep cornering. She had the audacity to pull clear from the late, and she won by a length and a quarter. She obviously is the next horse we're going to see from the Wallace stable. That's a superstar, and they're talking about her being an able replacement for Via Sistina, who hasn't retired yet, as far as I know, guys. So she's still going to be hard to beat, whatever she goes around in. So, look, she's just outstanding. And as they said, that's the first time they've really given her a decent sound out was yesterday, and she certainly passed that test. So we'll see her again in the autumn. Look forward to that. Depth of Character, you mentioned, Shorty was good, and probably on the worst part of the track there in the fence was a $91 shot, finished 2 lengths away. The Japanese visitor, I can give you the lowdown on this one, Marty, no problem. Panja Tower didn't get a lot of room in the straight there, wouldn't have won, but had a bit of a checkered course basically the entire straight, so probably should have finished a little bit closer than that margin of 2.6 lengths. Of the others, there's not much else. All honours with this magnificent mare, Autumn Glow.
Just want to throw Linebacker. I think got into a bit of trouble, over-raced. It looked like it got on heels. Maybe it's one of those runs you just completely forget. Rosehill Gold Cup, I just said to Shorty, I was in a bit of trouble and sort of had a decent bet on this to get out, and all race I thought, well, this is a bad day. Wootton Verney. My goodness me.
The over-racing?
It did everything wrong and then just said, have a look at this. Bang.
Yeah, they got this horse going beautifully now, haven't they? I know they had money on him first few starts in Australia and he didn't do a lot, but now he's really hit his straps. And look, as J-Mac said post-race, he's even better with a bit of give in the ground, so he enjoyed that yesterday. But look, you're right, over-racing mid-race and early. He was throwing the head around. I too, Marty, was on board, so I was a little bit concerned myself, but when he cruised up in the straight, he had the race won a long way from home. So they're looking at races such as the Ranvet and the Tancred in the autumn for him. I reckon he's a real Cups contender next spring. I'd love to see him go around. He's won a Coonji. I think the race like the Caulfield Cup would be nice for him. So there you go. Maison Louis was the other fancy in the race, pulled up coughing. I'd say too wet for him because he travelled quite well, and when they asked him to go, he's just gone nowhere. And that's the sign, of, as we know, of a horse that doesn't handle the wet ground. So we'll forgive Maison Louis and we'll stick with Wootton Verney.
Chantel from the yard just put the line straight through it. Reckon he lost it mentally, sweated up badly because I was nearly going to save on it, and she said, "I just can't have it."
Well,
she's really good info from the yard.
She does bring a lot to that broadcast. I love listening to her. She's on. Very sharp operator, no doubt. That horse too has got a lot of upside still. They're still doing stuff wrong in run. Like I know that the horse is 5 years of age, but if you can say it, it's still learning on race day, you'd expect, on what we've seen from Wootton Verney. So there is plenty more to come heading forward there. Chris, Black Booker's out of the day?
Yeah, race 1 will Black Book Del to Tell. Certainly Meridiana out of race 4 goes in a big way. In race 6, we didn't cover this one, but Brave One was quite good against the tempo there. Only got moving late, ran on well. One to follow as well. And obviously Wootton Verney. We won't see him again for a while, but he's a horse I've firmly got in the Black Book for the autumn and the spring.
All right, Chris, anything for the punters on this Sunday? We're off to the old Lance Cairns this afternoon, 7 racer there.
No, I'll pass on the old Lance Cairns today. We'll wait till Tuesday. I'm sure we can find something then, guys.
And one off the text line here from the Mauler. He wants to know what has happened to Bailey Wheeler.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I will try and find that out for you, Marty, and I'll get back to you before the end of the show if I can find something out.
Good on you, Chris. Thanks for that. We'll tune in on Wednesday.
No,
Yes?
It might be Tuesday. We don't have a meeting on Wednesday, so I think
Cup
maybe
day.
Tuesday.
Yeah, all right. Looking forward to that. See you, mate.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Nelson there. Quick break. Come back with Racetrack. Ralphy next.
Racing and sport from different angles. You're listening to the Aftermath on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Good morning, Racetrack. Ralphy.
Good morning, boys. Flemington turned it on yesterday, as it should, for Derby Day. We had a bit of luck with the weather, but Liam O'Keefe made his own luck as a curator. Track played absolutely perfect.
Love it. Ralphie, let's go to the Group 1s to kick off. We'll start with the Derby. Observer rolled straight to the top. Catch me if you can. They couldn't.
Look, I think that could catch on. Just saying, look, I'm on the best horse. What about we take luck out of the equation? It actually reminded me, I don't know if you remember back in, I think it was 2011, Danny Nicklick on Machine.
Yep,
just
I was there.
The front, and there was, probably wasn't a distance horse, but just the best horse, and that's the best way. Just got to the front. Oh, dead set, watching that Chiquita Lodge shot, I thought they were going backwards at one stage. It was extraordinary. And look, wouldn't be surprised if that's his last ever distance run, put it that way.
Yep.
And from, going forward, they try and, particularly as he's a colt, get his speed profile up, because let's face it, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but probably goes very close in the Caulfield Guineas without luck, and he's generally got a real quality turn of foot, and let's see where he goes. Well done to me, taking $26 and $7 Arcora 2 months ago when
started
$90 and $19 yesterday. But look, he's a good loping stayer, and the rest of them, look, they were just given no chance.
No chance.
Providence sort of mystery.
Yeah.
Good. May as well find out if you want to get your horse to settle. Well, sometimes things go in your favour, and sometimes you get a race shape like yesterday, and you've got no chance.
Previous to that, the Coolmore Star, terrific race for Godolphin, but 10 Tyrus from the back. Tell us about the win.
Well, it was outstanding, and Vince Accardi's data's through, and the eye-opener to me is 30th best last 200 of the day. So visually you think he's exploded, but his actual explosion was in a very fast race. It was much faster than an all Coolmore, a bit like the year, I'd say, off the top of my head, Home Affairs one, just blistering sustained speed up front. The difference was the on-pacers couldn't sustain it generally, and this bloke just was so good. I mean, third best last 800 of the day, by the way, so I'm not saying he was tired. He was just so good, and really no wonder he's favourite for next Saturday. I did hear Sam Freedman yesterday morning mention that they're looking at backing him up. Well, dear me, if you shop there, you've shopped very well, because really the likes of Giga Kick and these other good sprinters are going to have to bring their A game to beat him, because this is a genuine star who's emerged. Johnny McArdle, well done there. I don't know when the last time Jamie Mott rode at 50. What was it?
55.
Yeah, I scrolled back, and my best look was 2007. So he obviously
would have hurt.
She's run. Yeah, she's run her guts out, and he's wasted his guts out. But the 2-1 paces, 2 legacy bound, excellent effort, and BWAC. It was just such a fundamental staring at me that he was $9 in that Golden Rose, and it was such a monster PB, and
Yep.
he wasn't set for that race, whereas 10 Tyrus was, and grand finals are often won by those that are sole focus set for it.
Big Sol. The other of the Group 1s, the Empire Rose Stakes over the mile, and I touched on it with Marty earlier on the program today, Ralphie. Kieran Maher, the job that he's done to reinvigorate Pride of Jenny's been spectacular, and yesterday, once she got rolling up front, you could tell a fair way from home they were going to have their work cut out running it down.
Boys, I don't think we've ever seen a horse like this. Like, seriously, because, so she had the bleed last year. She's 8 years old, and she's running now borderline as good as she ever has. And that was just unbelievable sustained speed. For her standard, I actually think, I'm going off the top of my head here, she went seriously fast, but when she won the Empire Rose 2 years ago, she went 9 lengths faster. That first 800 metres. So and that's actually her arsenal now. That's why she's able to win again, because by her standards, she's actually relaxing. And then Declan Bates put the hammer down at the 800 and said, well, we're going fast and we're going to keep going fast. and everything else just had their tongues hanging out the side of their head. So I'm getting a bit of flashbacks here from that first win where Tissue ran second to her and then backed up and I think she won she either won the Matriarch or the 2000. Now, like Lucy, they'll probably avoid VS16. If she goes to the Matriarch next Saturday, she's going to take a power beating there from a horse to follow perspective. But just, hats off Kieran Maher, Declan Bates and Tony Tombre, because this mare's something special.
Punters, if you have a look at records and repeating patterns, how you never back Panova in the first, the Carbine Club with Waller and these Carbine clubs, and it just gets them out of that race in Sydney, brings them down there. They're fresh on the scene. Most of the other horses that are in the market have been running around in those lead-up races.
3 in a row now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And Panova just descended. Good filly.
Look, the first two are both very good. So, starting point, absolutely. I actually wrote, if Panova wasn't trained by Chris Waller, Regal Award should be deep odds on. And it was just that fact, as you say, that she's obviously sole focus set for it. But here's a fact with Regal Award, not an opinion, a fact. The 800-metre marker would have been leading Pride of Jenny.
Wow.
So,
there you go.
You reckon it had every chance? I don't.
No.
So on these big days, Lockie Dyndos learning his craft, but, he just got that completely wrong there. And Panova nailed it. So I think both these are very, very good horses. Regal Awards at prep away, just needs to learn to relax a bit, use his tempo a bit better. But Panova to make up that ground and smash them, oh, dear me, he's got a good horse. It actually reminded me of Fangirls winning this race a couple of years back, or 3 or 4 years back.
She's an alibi for Peter Moody, Kath Coleman, Luke Nolan. The old firm teamed up for success in race number 2. Ralphie?
Yeah, good turn of foot. No wonder they backed it well. The rest aren't much good. She is.
Caballos in the third, the Rising Fast.
Yeah, and again, he might have a Group 1 win in him, this horse. He's got serious engine, two preps as a gelding now, and an explosion. The one, our man there, Marty, Royal Insignia, just put a little circle around it.
Okay, all right.
On to race number 4, Get a Good Feeling. Well, this has looked like the Oaks winner a long way out, and it maintains the same way you'd think out of the Wakeful yesterday, Ralphie.
Yeah, no reason to change your mind there, that's for sure.
Hey, just on our man too, the Penguin. He gave Atzini the fly and fly out jockey a good old rev up. Have you seen that? So I thought, hang on, he might be back in your good books after that.
Oh, no, he's always in my good books. I'm just like, he's too good for me.
You can't catch him. Yeah. We caught him. We finally got him yesterday. We got him, Wardy, you little beauty. Yeah. What a ride from Zara this was.
Well, if people reckon that good jockeys don't count, just watch this and then watch his replays of the previous run.
Correct.
Absolutely pleasure to watch this one. Cheered this one home. And next Udo, he's actually a horse to fly. He's just not a 1400 horse. He was well backed, but weight drop and blah blah. But he's a miler, and he'll probably win next start.
I think I heard. Oh no, it was Nathan Bennett who said after the race, Zoo Sensation should still be coming to Perth on that run. So that's terrific news. Go back to the last of the day. Gee, there was a few tipping this on Friday. New York Lust. It was a big price.
Yes, it was, and Blinker's first time, and I think I got a bit of mail, of course, afterwards. That they just really thought they had her right again. It just took a few runs to get her going. Soft Love is probably the one to forgive. I don't think Prairie Flower let down up the straight. I think it's got a good close on her and might have a ride again barrier-wise. But horse to follow, Tentira should win next Saturday, and the little hidden ones are Royal Insignia and Soft Love. Any
early thoughts for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday?
Yeah, look, I'll sort of work around a bit of Buckaroo and a bit of big odds Middle Earth. Stick to good barriers, stick to good trainers. I really was taken by Middle Earth's run on last Saturday. I think it's almost like a fifth or sixth in a Cox Plate, what he did in that race. And with the blinkers on, he's back focused, and I think he's going to run a huge price at big odds.
Love your work, Ralphie.
Big odds.
Racetrack, Ralphie.com.au. Thank you, Ralph. Great to hear from you. Look, the Eagles are in a good spot. They get first and second lick at, and people can say it's a deep draft, not a deep draft. It doesn't matter when you've got 1 and 2 in your draft hand. So they really should walk away with 2 really talented young players out of that. I think what they've done in the off-season's been probably as good as better than what they've done in recent years as far as who they're bringing in. So I think they're on the right path now. It's been a pretty painful few years for West Coast fans, but you can see that they're certainly making some more wise decisions in recent times. And with 1 and 2 into this draft, They've got the sort of players, along with, what they've got there at the moment, obviously with Harley Reid, the sort of young talent that you can start building a team around. So good luck to them. In relation to the Melbourne Cup, I'm pretty keen on Valiant King. Loved its run in the Caulfield Cup. I thought it was a really impressive performance, the way that it hit the line from a long way back, and often sort of Cox Plate Caulfield Cup form, Marty, as you know, is often something that you want to be keeping your eyes peeled on come Melbourne Cup time. So I'm happy enough to get involved with Valiant King on top. And the horse that ran second in that race I thought was a really nice performance as well. So happy enough to have hit involved in the mix as well. It was 151 in the Caulfield Cup, but I think it outran that River of Stars, and it's also capable on wet and heavy ground. So for me, they're the two horses that I'll be playing around with, Valiant King and River of Stars.
Just keeping the powder dry a bit because I've been a bit behind the eight ball doing the form. Started yesterday having a look at it. I don't think it's a very strong field, Shorty. It's not a vintage Melbourne Cup, let me tell you this.
There's not many overseas raiders this year.
The overseas raider that's there is probably the best we've seen in a long time, and it's got to carry a weight-carrying metric record of 59 kilos.
Indeed, El Rifa. So it comes here with Group 1 Irish St Ledger and Group 2 Curragh Cup, and they were both comfortable wins, but as you touched on, history shows us lumping the big weight in the Melbourne Cup has been pretty challenging.
So Twilight Payment ran third in the Irish St Ledger and won the Curragh Cup, or won the Curragh Cup, ran third in the Irish St Ledger, 63, 62, and both dropped to 55.5 and won the Cup. This fellow El Rifa has won both those races with similar big weights over there, but only drops to 59. But as I said, this isn't a vintage cup, so maybe he can get away with it. But I think, just looking at it, look at your Caulfield Cup form. It's always comes to the fore, and this year with the lack of real talent in this race, that Caulfield Cup will probably provide the winner in some shape or form. Maybe half yours goes again. It is 14 minutes past 7 o'clock. What a time out there at Ascot yesterday. You were there, Shorty. Listen to this.
Charging around the outside. Carberry's got an absolute stranglehold of him. Had to come out three wide. Repossessions near the rail, and back last of all, Boots Like Bruce. They're about to set sail for home in the Prince of Wales, where Snowdome, Kripolenko share the lead. Cut the Talk now joins them quickly. Here comes Joker's Grin. Joker's Grin tested. Cut the Talk goes to the lead. Cut the Talk's in front. Carberry has to draw the shillelagh on Joker's Grin. Oscar's Fortune charging home along the rail, but it's Joker's Grin, and Joker's Grin continues to laugh all the way to the bank. He wins the Prince of Wales. First up, Joker's Grin from Oscar's Fortune.
We've got Bernie Miller on the program. Bern, a very good morning. Welcome to the aftermath. Sense of relief after yesterday?
Yeah, good morning, Marty. Good morning, Shorty. How are you? Bloody oath it was, mate. Oh, God. It was an absolute big thrill, and when he went across the line, I just took a big breath, and yeah, so absolutely it's thrilling, and it's wonderful to, the fruition that's coming through after all the planning and everything. You never feel overly confident because we're talking about beautiful animals and anything can go wrong, but it went our way yesterday, guys.
Indeed. I love the way that Paddy just rode Joker's Grin like the best horse in the race as well. Keep it out of trouble. Leave it out there with room to move, Bernie. And once he asked for that superior go late in the piece, Joker's Grin really did deliver and finish the race off very nicely. How's Joker's Grin come through the run? How is the horse this morning?
Yeah, Shorty's super, mate. And Marty, I just let him out, and he did a few bog laps around his paddock, and that's always nervous. But he looks absolutely tremendous. He ate up well, and he will come through that run, and his coat will be even better. He's starting to dapple up nice and change colour, so he'll come through that super, I reckon.
Bernie, when we spoke on Friday, and thanks for that interview, the outpouring of love for that interview on our text lines has been quite amazing, but you said the horse had possibly put on around the 50-kilo mark and his coat had darkened. Well, I've just got a video freeze shot of him here after the line. This horse, I've just got to get out there and watch him live in the Colonel Reeves because he looks outstanding.
Yeah, mate. So many people yesterday just walking past and just taking photographs of him, and it was tremendous. It took the pressure off me. People coming up and chatting and wanting photos, and it was great. And he does look fantastic. And he'll get better, with each time we go out there. So we just got to keep a lid on ourselves and just keep doing everything right. Do the 1%ers. And, no, it'll be a... And by all means, come out and have a look at him, mate.
Bernie, well, I love the fact that you're embracing this and you're allowing the public along for the ride. You could literally hear yesterday, while it wasn't the crowd size that we had the week before with Irish Day, when Joker's Grin got going in that home straight, you could hear the crowd really rev up. He's a really popular horse. And like you say, a lot of people want to get up close and personal and get a look at him. And for you to open it up and be so friendly and welcoming with it, it's a big part of promoting racing as it is today, and you're right on board with it, and you deserve all the success you get. But tell us a little bit about how the horse handles all of that. He clearly is starting to work out that he's a pretty popular animal.
He's most nerve-wracking thing, Shorty and Marty, is that getting him there. He doesn't travel too good on race day in the truck. He's not too bad going to Belmont or Ascot early in the mornings. But he developed the bad habit of when you're getting him off, he launches from the top of the truck down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to put all these boots on him and compression hoods and a fly veil, which acts like a pacifier, and that's working. And now he's walking down and just jumping the last couple of feet. So that once we get him there and we shampoo him, and when you shampoo him, he's about 18 hands high. And then Meg takes him back and cleans him up and he goes to sleep. And he goes out and does what he does again, in his races, and hose him down, do what you got to do, put him there, and he goes to sleep. He even starts yawning.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful, mate.
Yeah, look, we're even getting people now throwing in texts of photos of him live from the course here yesterday. It's magnificent. Just the size of him, Bernie. If you do this as an exercise, watch the replay on Rower, and then it'll stop just as he's hitting the line at 142. And you can compare his length for a sprinter compared to Dion's horse on the inside of him. And he dwarfs him. Like, for a sprinter to have that sort of length, it's not that common.
No, and his racing manners earlier were about he was reefing and tearing, but he was also having a climbing action. But now, we've done a few things, and he's actually lengthening out. Yep. He's half tied. It looks like a little bit of a grass cutter now, and so that's got to lengthen his stride all the time. And I have Chad operate on him basically weekly because he does have a few neck issues, which will be shortening his stride again, and it's nice. And I went to a seminar on Tuesday at Ascot, and it was absolutely fantastically done. And I hope they do some more for us. And it's all about these equimeters, and that. And Trev was telling me you can measure the stride. So I want to get one so I can measure his stride and know exactly what it is. But I reckon it will blow our minds away the length of his stride, mate. And
he's still. Even, you watch Paddy when he pulls the whip on him in the straight, he sort of wants to go in a little bit, and there's probably improvement in him just for his ring craft to come.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And, it's like, Paddy drew the bat yesterday, but that's the teaching, mate. The game's not over yet.
Oh, good. Yeah, definitely.
The Roma Cup was sitting about 6 lengths behind him. He said, next minute, he said, I'm in front. And that was the length of stride that he made up. And he said, oh, okay, game's over. No, mate. It's like he just floated. So Paddy had to pick him up again from that Roma Cup and, get him going again. But so we've got to ride him out now and say, come on, mate, the game's not over yet. And he's learning there, and, it's just a wonderful position to be in. So, he's got further improvement. Marty, if you come out there and you have a look, he's still bum high, this horse.
Wow. Yep,
it's so exciting, and he's, like I said, the punters are getting right around this horse. Who put together a record like Joker's Grin. You're entitled to have big fan groups. From yesterday's run, though, Bernie, and great to hear that the horse has pulled up this morning. Percentage-wise, how much improvement do you think there will be between runs for Joker's Grin going into its next run?
Well, I reckon he went in there about 85% yesterday. Maybe getting close to 90.
Yep.
I reckon we'll be working on about a 5% each run.
Yep.
so that he's going to be hitting him, pretty close to hitting his mark around about Winterbottom time, if not just after the Winterbottom time. So that'll then take us into the Gold Rush, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be so exciting. Hey, Bernie, true to your word too, you didn't produce the burgundy number yesterday, but I did like your jacket. It looked a bit of a gunmetal grey job, looked very sharp. But our good mate Mickey Grantham, I've got to say, I do like Mickey, got that photo of you, true to your word, as you said, you'd be in your flannelette shirt out the back in your old jeans, and that was you.
Yeah. Oh, no. Started laughing at me. I said, kid, I'm that bloody nervous, Mickey. I'm more nervous than you. I said, I left me stuff and clothes home. He said, I'll give Peniel a call. She's coming. She can call into your place and pick him up. Oh, good on you. Thanks, mate. Would you do that? I went out and got changed. We had a laugh. It was good fun.
Oh, he's a beauty, Mickey. His caption is, he wasn't bullshitting you.
Nothing wrong with a flanny. Nothing wrong with a flanny. Don't worry about that. That's good fun.
No.
Just imagine.
When I walked past him from back in, he had a big smile on his face. Paddy Carvin's always told me you can't polish a turd. Well, here I am.
On that note, we'll let you go and enjoy doing bog laps. Thanks for coming on the show today, and all the best, Bern.
Anytime. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Shorty.
Well done, Bernie.
He's an absolute.
You can't get, and you can't get promotion like that when you've got a man that loves his horse like Bernie does. And I mean, what a time of his life to have Joker's Grin come into it. I mean, it's just talk about waking up with a spring in your step when you've got this fellow in the backyard. And yesterday watching that race, honestly, he's just a horse where you can. Paddy was just, let's just stay out of trouble. And you could see from a long way out, he had them covered. He had them covered a long way from home. He is a really exciting animal, Joker's Grin. And as I said, the punters love this horse. They were fizzing right up at the top of the lane. There were an awful lot of multis rolling through Joker's Grin, and you could hear the crowd getting right up and about it. Home it went to victory. It was really exciting.
If he can win the next three.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you're talking Everest then, aren't you?
Big style.
Can you explain, for those that have missed, why is there only 2 weeks left, Paul, from East Fremantle? I don't know if you've been living under a rock, Paul, but it's been pretty well publicised that SEN have bought Tab Radio, and I think at this stage it'll probably be Monday week when there'll be some sort of changeover. So that's why we're saying that. Hi, Marty, Shorty and Sophie. This is Rusty Gates. I was a little surprised at Merv Hughes' comments earlier this week on stating that Sam Constas should be retained as Australia's opener for the upcoming Ashes series. Although I believe Constas is a prodigious talent, I believe, like many, that he should be given time in the Shield competition to hone his skills. At the moment, he seems to have one glaring weakness that bowlers have recognised, and that weakness is a ball on the stumps. He either shoulders arms and lets it go crashing into the stumps, or tries to play a ramp shot, which invariably sees the ball crash into the stumps. Rusty Gates, your thoughts here, Shorty, our cricket expert.
Rusty's nailed it. And you know what Sam Constas has done? He has outthought himself. He's really turned what should be a simple game, see ball, hit ball, into... He's overthinking things, and it comes down to that ramp shot. So it did work for him to a degree against Jasprit Bumrah last summer. Prior to that, it's not a shot that he had been playing all that regularly in Shield cricket anyway, but it was his way of trying to combat Bumrah and do something a bit different. And to his credit, it did work to a degree through that particular series. But now he's caught with this shot that he hadn't been playing a lot, that worked for him against a one-off bowler, that he's now sort of not sure. I would just go, if I was his batting coach or speaking to him, I'd just literally say, Sam, let's just put that away for a while and go back to orthodox cricket. Just see ball, hit ball. Cover up the good balls, hit the bad ones. You're trying to get a spot in a red ball team, not a white ball team at the moment. So let's focus on having our defence sound, You can still attack the bowling, but wait until you get the ball that you like before you go after it. Let's not try and turn a good ball into a bad ball. Let's wait for the bad ball and respect the good ball. That would be my advice to the young man. Merv Hughes saying he's the incumbent. He is, but just because in Merv's generation, if you're in the side, you had to basically have a 12-month bad spell before they drop you, doesn't mean that that has to be the case in today's cricket. There's the opening spot. Right now, Jake Weatherald's failed both tries this Shield game. Renshaw, to be fair, you break it down, the guy averages 29 in Shield cricket. He should have to do more than that to find your way into a test side. Cam Bancroft made some runs last game, but he's been without runs for a significant period of time. There's no opener anywhere in Australia right now that is banging the door down to say, that's my spot. So that's the only thing I would say, but I couldn't have Constance myself.
Doesn't Marnus go in there and open?
Well, I don't know that he does, because now that he's come out and made the 4 centuries to start this summer at 3, I don't think they want to tamper with that. He's a mindset and mental sort of guy. If he's comfortable in a spot, and to me, Marnus, when he's going, is probably the most important player for Australia, because he protects all of your gunpowder, the Travis Heads, the Steve Smith, Cam Green, if they're playing. If he can bat for a session to a session and a half at number 3, he protects those boys from that new ball, and all of a sudden you can make those really big 400, 500, 600 scores, because all of your really aggressive middle order players are going out there with a tired attack against an older ball. So I think let's not mess with Marnus at 3. It's where he plays his best
who
cricket.
opens?
I think that they will probably end up going with it. For me, I think it'll either be Weatherald or Renshaw that they will opt for. Personally, I don't know if I would, but I think the fact that they brought Renshaw into the white ball series would indicate that they want him to be around the Australian setup again. And if you're going on pure Shield numbers over the last 18 months, I think Jake Weatherald's probably been the most prodigious run scorer at the top of the order through that period of time. That's probably what the Aussie selectors are looking at.
Blah, blah, blah. Let Marty Young and David Shortte do all the talking on The Aftermath. Sunday morning at its best on Tab Radio Racing and Sports.
Third now, Chase Me. Got off the inside very nicely indeed. Runkle Crunch went through along the pegs and then controlled the room. When in Vegas got an inside run, and so did Captain Sterling. Belly Up is out very wide, but coming to the turn. On the inside, Rumble Strip is just in front of on the outside, faking it. And here comes Runkle Crunch and Campo. Could he win another big race? Campo, he's coming hard with Runkle Crunch. Racing up 28-2, third quarter. And Runkle Crunch has raced up and taken the lead from Rumble Strip. Battling on is faking it. Captain Sterling is late with When in Vegas, but a brilliant win in the Derby to Runkle Crunch, and a big salute from Campo. And Runkle Crunch won brilliantly from Captain Sterling, faking it.
That is the 3-year-old WA Derby. Sky Racing sponsor at Aiden Campo joins us to talk about the win of Runkle Crunch. Very good morning, Aiden.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are we going?
Well, that was some sort of win, and may I say, some sort of drive.
Yeah, it was lots of good drivers and a little bit of luck involved, but look, the race planned out perfect for us, and the horse was good enough on the night to get the run and get the job done in the end.
Yeah, no, you don't have to mention the good luck, Aiden. Just claim it completely as a masterclass in the sulky. There's no problem there. But you would have been happy the way things panned out, tempo on, and your horse was travelling really nicely in the run. You can just see a great big smile on your face when things opened up late in the piece. You went for this horse, and there was plenty there over the concluding stages.
Yeah, I've been told in the past I need to be more humble, Shorty, so I'm working on it.
Excellent.
But yeah, look, the race just panned out perfect for us when, the Captain Sterling made a run 3 deep early to get to the breeze and faking it fired up in the breeze. And they ran that 1-6 lead time. I was just far enough back off the speed, but not too far back that we weren't working with that speed. And when the horse in front of me come off at the bell and then looked to be struggling down the back straight, from the 700 onwards, I was quite confident I was going to get a run, and from there onwards, just the horse had to be good enough, and probably from the 400 onwards, he felt nothing but the winner.
Okay, so when we spoke on Friday, and again, like with Bernie Miller, I thought it was a terrific interview. There was a lot of insights that you gave to our listeners that you probably don't normally hear, but you stated that the horse had so much ability coming from New Zealand, was behind the 8 ball for a couple of reasons, but you thought he was starting to really come into his best form?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We kind of purchased him for this race, and I was kind of a touch worried there probably, 6 to 7 weeks ago. I had a few problems with him early on. Tractability-wise, he wasn't handling Gosler Park well at all, and then he got quite a bad virus, which knocked him around for a few weeks, and then I don't think he completely got over it straight away, although he was over the virus. I still think it knocked him around a fair bit, and probably was just running a little bit flat. So, been working pretty hard behind the scenes, just trying to pick him back up and get him feeling good again, but also kind of keep him fit enough to have him racing at a good level. And his last 2 runs, we drew good alleys where we drove him quiet, and he got held up, and the writing was kind of on the wall that he was kind of getting back to his best. And just really happy to have him at his best on Friday night and get the job done, because the run we kind of got, if he hadn't won then, I would have been quite disappointed.
Well, you've done a good job too, all things considered. You mentioned that runs haven't opened the last couple, but once you get up to the Derby trip at 25.36, you need to have the horse pretty fit and somewhere near their top to be able to run out that extra trip. So you've done a great job of obviously keeping the work up to this horse behind the scenes in the build-up to the race.
Yeah, I kind of elected to go the 3 weeks in a row just into that Derby. I tend to think over those 2,500 metre races, you're just going to give them a really good hit out at home on the Friday. I think the race kind of brings them on a little bit more a week out from a big one. So, elected to go those 3 weeks in a row, and we're quite lucky that, he did draw where he did, and I didn't have to prove anything with him. He just kind of, ran home and probably built more confidence than anything. The horse just kind of hitting the line strongly and, kind of feeling good. And then Friday when the gaps came, he actually, let down and was feeling really good,
How's the program look for him?
Probably to the paddock now, I think. Like I said, I've had a fair few problems with him just trying to get into this race. So, I think I still probably don't think I've got him at 100%. So I just think we'll just give him a good 4 to 6 weeks off and then come back for a 4-year-old tilt and, go from there. But, look, I think he will be a better horse next time in. Like I said, I still don't think he fully got over that virus he had. And we've kind of, been patching him up for a long time, trying to get him right. And we got him right. I think he deserves to have a little bit of a break now and, start to feel good again.
Excellent. Some exciting times ahead for next preparation. You spoke to Marty and the team on Friday Drive, suggested Copycat Queen was one of your better drives of the night. Let's see how that went.
Go with her run. Chualu's responded well. Copycat Queen needs to sustain it, and running on as well as Opal Hunter, and getting out as well as Dawson running a race first up. In the straight though, 28.5. In front on the inside, Chualu grabbed by Copycat Queen, and then Dawson looking to cause the upset, but Copycat Queen had burst clear from Dawson giving chase. Copycat Queen in front. Dawson can't get there, and it's Copycat Queen from Dawson, and Copycat Queen has beaten Dawson. A terrific run.
Aiden, that was a preview of the Golden Nugget. She was tough.
Yeah, she was. Drove her outside her comfort zone a little bit on Friday. She tends to be a real sit and kick kind of horse. And, with the horses drawn to her inside, I thought she had to kind of work forward and find a forward position. And she did so. And when the speed went on in for the bell, she was right up on there chasing it, making sure we held our spot and finished over the top of them. And, finished really, really strong. She's kind of the same as what I did with Rumple Crunch, just needed that extra run leading up to the Nugget next week. So, hopefully hoping for a good barrier for her. She's getting pretty versatile, which is good. So, I reckon she's going to take it right up to the boys next week.
Nice to have versatility and some options. Obviously, you can't control the draw, so showing that other side to herself there the other night, being able to do it more than just sort of roll to the top and lead. Nice to have different options depending on what marble comes out.
Yeah, it is. It's especially with her, she's got so much high speed, and early on as a 2 and 3 year old, I never really had her right. She used to pull quite hard, and probably hasn't been the horse that she's been this season. I think she's won 8 or 9 races now this season, and it's just been maturity that's got her through. She's always had the ability, but she always wanted to reef and tear a little bit. And this time in now, she kind of respects you when you want to grab hold of her. She settles down well, and she's got a lethal 800. So, I don't think we would want to be leading over 2,500 in a fast run nugget, but if she's sitting on the speed somewhere or even further back, she's shown that she can cover a field really quickly. So. It's not easy for the mares to beat the boys in these kind of races in the trots, but I think she's right up with a really good chance.
Now, Aiden, on Friday night we spoke about the San Simeon, and it's almost a little prelude to a pacing cup. You drove in it. I want your thoughts on the race, taken out again by this Marvel pace and Minstrel, beats Never Ending and Mr. Smarty with Bricky's Dream back in fourth. What did you take out of the race?
Yeah, it was really good race. What everyone kind of promised. It was quick lead time where a few horses, probably not, in the top 3 or 4 in the race, all wanted to get forward, myself included, with Swing Band. And I thought, Minstrel was super. They ran that first quarter, 31. Mr. Smarty popped around to the breeze quite easily. And, Minstrel would come 3 wide from the 1,000. It used to be a thing at Gloucester Park probably 10 years ago. Horses could come 3 wide without cover and win races. But as they've got faster over the years, it's a really, really hard thing to do. And, come 3 wide, no cover, and got the job done. And I thought he was ultra impressive and shows that he's, back to his, he never really left his best, but, he's come back again at his best. And, he's going to be probably the testing material going forward. I thought, Mr. Smarty was probably very disappointing. I thought he probably had, the right kind of run. I mean, he did win those big races off kind of sniper roles, so maybe that's more of his role going forward. But, he probably had the run of the race, didn't do too much work early, popped to the breeze at the right time, was a good drive. He just didn't have the gas over the last lap. And Never Ending was a lot better as well. I thought he tracked up 3 deep. Like I said, it's not easy to do, and he ran well. And I drove Swing Band, and I think he's still working into form as well. He's still gaining fitness. He's probably the grossest horse I've seen racing in a long time. He's such a big horse, and Ryan was happy with him, and he just probably needs the racing to keep bringing him up. But I think come carnival time, I think he'll be right there.
Good insight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, big horse. And, you'd think another 2 or 3 runs from Ryan. He knows the horse well to be peaking come carnival time. Now, also, Aiden, earlier on in the night, I thought Rock and Roll Artist was good, finishing runner-up behind Blazing Reactor.
You threw it out.
Yeah, he was good. Had that 9 barrier on him, and he loves the mile, that horse, and was probably down in grade a little bit. So elected to drive him a little bit more positive than what we have done in the past. He probably... not noted as a breeze horse, but he ran a super race. So next time he looks like he's got a barrier where you think he might find the front, I reckon you'd want to be putting a few cents on him for sure.
We've got the big Italian fireworks night coming up this coming Friday. I'll be hosting one of the Punters Challenge nights upstairs here at Gloucester Park. There's about 26 tables of punters that'll be here having a good night. Is there 1 or 2 you can steer us into, either for this week or in towards next Friday night, Aiden?
Yeah, look, it's always a good night, that Italian fireworks night. They get a really good crowd, and if you haven't been before, it's probably good to get down to the food, and that's great. I have a race break. I tend to go up and grab a pizza or something. It's perks of being a rangsman, not a jockey. So if you have a little break there, I might get up and get some food. But great night, nugget night, Mayor's Classic. So look, I've got my 2 heading into the Nugget, Menemsha and Copycat Queen. I'm really happy with both of them. I think they'll both run, really good races, just barrier draw dependent at the moment. I think I've got them both pretty much where they need to be to run good races. So, looking forward to that race. But I think if you follow Rock and Roll Artist into next week, there shouldn't be, too much drop out from his run last week. And especially if he gets a little bit of a better barrier draw in the same kind of race.
Well done, Aiden. It's been a pleasure, and all the best for next weekend. It's going to be a big night here at Gloucester Park on Friday night.
No worries, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Aiden.
Display Benadryl Like a Lucy is 16 at least off the lead. Back behind those horses, Fangirl, followed by Firestorm, Damask Rose, Splashback and Lazura. So Pride of Jenny looking to be the first multiple winner of the Empire Rose at the 400 metres. She's 9 lengths in front of Like a Lucy on display. A bounding, battling on Benadryl and Fangirl. Pride of Jenny, 200 metres to go. She's getting a little bit weary, but she's still 6 or 7 lengths in front of Like a Lucy. Pride of Jenny, stand up and cheer. This is going to be a famous win, a multiple winner of the Empire Rose. Pride of Jenny, you are a beauty. Like a Lucy will run.
I think it's one of the great sights in modern day racing, isn't it? Pride of Jenny, when she's out like that. Declan Bates, who rides this horse so well, joins us on the Aftermath deck. Well done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Congratulations, Declan. That must be a beautiful feeling when you look in the rear-view mirror and you can barely see the opposition and the girl that you're sitting on just keeps on giving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very rare feeling in horse racing to have that. But only a horse like her can produce it. So I'm in a very privileged position to be on board. And she's amazing, really.
Well, what is it with her, though, how she does it? Just tell us, Dick. Give us an insight. Give our listeners an insight into what makes this horse so special that she can do this.
I think her will to win has to play a big part and physically she has the attributes of just being able to sustain a gallop, which is it sounds so simple, but it's so rare at the same time. Not many horses, if any, can do what she does. And then she's so mentally, she's just so tough as well. And combine all that, she's something special.
So, okay, I want to ask you this: you win the Fian, you go to the King Charles, and you get beat 3 lengths. Now, I'm looking at the times of the King Charles Empire Rose. Almost identical, 134.39 in the King Charles, 134.42 in the Empire Rose. Sectionals 34.86 and 34.97. So why couldn't you do that in Flemington, but then what happened in the King Charles?
I'm not sure. I walked away from Sydney feeling like she certainly hadn't ran bad. But, with her, she does need things to go right on the day, and obviously there was a lot of pressure early in the King Charles, and on the wide gate we did have to work around, and understandably no one wanted to hand up too easy, and she was really tough. As you said, we were beating a few lengths, but she was all the way down the straight. She toughed it out well, and I was really confident coming to Flemington that the condition on the day, better ground. I love her on fast ground. She just glides across it, and obviously on paper there was less pressure too, and that sort of did materialise. So she was able to dictate and bully them to how she wanted to do. And when she does sort of build up a few length gap on him, she's so hard to run back down, because she just, as you said, she's just sustaining it. So she just makes life so difficult for the opposition when we can build that gap, because if you want to chase with her, a lot of them will just blow up trying to go with her, and then it's a matter of when do you chase. So, as I said, she certainly didn't run bad in Sydney, so I left there feeling happy enough with where she was at, and so I was really confident going into yesterday. Obviously, the opposition was sort of a step below what it had been in Sydney, so. And just especially conditions on the day, fast ground, wind was just a nice gentle breeze. It was suitable to the front runners, and sure enough, it all combined on the day.
She's now an 8-year-old mare, Deck, so she's got miles on the clock. But when you see a race win like yesterday, when she rolls to the top without the pressure on her, and she gets to run it on her terms, she's almost unbeatable under those circumstances. There are very few horses, as you've touched on, if they decide to try and go with her and run with that early tempo and early pressure, more often than not, those horses ruin their own chances. So when she's up and going, she's a horse that not many people like racing against.
No, absolutely, yeah. No, as you say, when she's up and going, and she clearly loves this time of year now. So, she done the double 2 years ago at Flemington, and who's to say she can't do it again? But regardless, yeah, we'll enjoy yesterday. It was just spectacular, really. And like you said, she's 8-year-old now, a good few miles on the clock, but she just seems to keep coming back. She put in a below par run, she's rode off as finished, and then she comes back and says, no, I'm not, So, but look, she's, touch wood, she's always been very sound, but she seems to have pulled up really well from yesterday, and she's just loving racing. So, hopefully we're not finished yet.
Will we see her on Champions Day?
It sounds very likely from what I hear. Obviously, she needs to pull up very well from yesterday, but from what I hear so far, it seems like she has. So that's, I'll leave that to Kieran and Tony to work out. But from what I gather, it's very likely she will, yes.
51.5 kilos in the Cup, Athabascan. Is that easy or hard for you?
I wouldn't say it's easy, but, certainly it sort of curtailed celebrations from yesterday. I had to be put on ice because I couldn't have a big night last night with a 51.5 Tuesday. So, we had a quiet night. Look, I've known a long way out I was going to be riding light in the Cup, because initially I had Revelair, who had gained a spot, and he had the same weight, 51.5. So I've pretty much been really preparing very well for the last 2 months, and then he got ruled out, but I sort of picked up this horse with the very same weight, so I'm on track. It's just a little bit of weight to lose still, but we're just need to keep doing everything right, and we'll be ready on the day. So hopefully he can run a big race.
Coming off a runner-up performance last time out there in the Moonee Valley Cup, draws barrier 1. How do you see things panning out for Athabascan in the Cup?
Yeah, look, more than happy to draw that gate. It allows us just to have a nice soft run through the first half of the race. As you said, his last run was very good, so he looks to be a horse that's just coming into form at the exact right time. Plenty of rain about on Monday, just going through his runs form this morning. I don't think that rain will hurt him. It could hinder a lot of the others, but I don't think it will hinder him. He'll stay. So he ticks a lot of the boxes. He's coming in under radar. He probably doesn't have quite the class of some of them, but as I said, he ticks a lot of the boxes. Lightweight on his back. He's trying to run a big race.
Okay, and earlier on today, this morning, Willie Mullins has been out to train Ethical Diamond to win the Breeders' Cup for Dylan Brown McMonagle. A good day for the Irish.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Willie Mullins, what he's doing the last sort of 10 years is firstly over jumps, and now even on the flat, it's amazing, really. So, it's probably fortunate for the rest of us that horse didn't come to the Melbourne Cup, because he'd have been hard to beat. But So he's the Irish are having a good time of it, and hopefully an Irish jockey can win Tuesday.
All right, all the very best here. Thanks for coming on the show today. She was magnificent. Let's hope we see her again on Champions Day. Thanks, Dick.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate
Cheers, Dick. Great to be catching up with Paul Stuart on this Sunday morning to round out the aftermath, fresh off success there last night. Of course, we had the Young Stars Classic. It was Canning Show Cup night out there at Cannington, and Starlight Snowy was an impressive winner of race number 5, the third of the Young Stars Classic heats. Welcome to the program, Paul Stuart. How do we find you on this Sunday morning?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, gentlemen?
Very well.
Really well.
Very well.
Really well. You'd have been happy with what we saw there overnight there. This young dog's shown well above average ability and went round there last night, got the job done in fine style.
Yeah, she was good. She was quite tough for her. She's only a little thing, and she had obviously a good draw in one, but she likes to use a bit of the track and made it a little bit difficult for herself, but she grinded away and got it done. So, I was a bit perplexed when the time come up, but, as I said, I don't pay on the time, so we'll take that and move on to next week.
Was it a fast or slow time?
Nah, slow time. It was pretty ordinary. It was a very ordinary time, to be honest, compared to the rest of the heats. But, yeah, I sort of can't make heads or tails of it. I mean, she beat some decent dogs, and but yeah, we'll run with it, and yeah, hopefully she can find her her normal times back next week.
Absolutely. All you can do is win. That's the most important thing. And as you say, Iconic Guess, Affiliate, they're all in the race and did a good job to knock them off. Paul, it's always great to be in any of the feature finals. Did Starlight Snowy come up with a nice draw in the final, did I hear, overnight?
She drew the red, which is normally you'd be over the moon with, but yeah, like I said earlier, she just has she actually doesn't mind sort of mid-track, so it's probably not a great draw for her, to be honest, because she does show good speed, but there's a bit of pace around in that race too, so she might be finding a bit of pressure coming down on top of her, and from what I've seen of her so far, she doesn't really appreciate that. She'd rather do the dictating from out wide, but, I mean, box one is better than having, someone else having it, I guess, so we'll take with that, and hopefully she can spear the lids and find herself in a good spot early. No, there haven't been too many times in your training career where you've drawn the red in a big final and haven't been very, very competitive. So let's hope that's the case there with a Starlight Snowy. The rest of the team in general, Paul, ticking over okay. Got some dogs there that are certainly graded to be winning races over the next little bit. Yeah, it's been a bit of it's pretty quiet here at the minute. We haven't got haven't got any pups coming through. So basically what we see on the track is what we've got going around. But next week we'll have Urbanity back, and Ironworks, he'll be back as well next week, and yeah, hopefully they can. I'll be just excited to get her back. She's, she's a very fast animal, and she's had a few little problems, but it'd be good to see her back next week, and hopefully we'll get her back over the trip soon, and see her do her best work over the longer distances. She's one of the more exciting greyhounds in the business, Urbanity. Paul, really appreciate you taking the time to join us on this Sunday morning for the Aftermath. Good luck there in the Young Stars final next week, and indeed with Urbanity. Thanks for joining us. Good on you. Thanks, boys. Thanks, Paul. He's a star, Paul Stewart, and drawn the one in the final. So never rule him out when he has box one in a big race. We'll get rid of a few of these because we can go to the news a little later. Jimmy Pommy Pies tipped all his team at Flemington, every winner and every pick for at Flemington on Saturday, so continues on in his very good form. On you, Jimmy. I'll give you his Sunday saviour. Albany Race 2, number 2, The Place. Albany Race 6, horse 4, Place. And Albany Race 7, horse 5, Place. So there you are. If you want to follow the in-form Jim Pommy Pie, they're his tips for today. Morning, Marty and Shorty. We love Jokers because he's a ripper horse, but also because Bernie and Paddy are just awesome people, down to earth, and they love the horse. Looking forward to the journey. All the best, Bernie. That is from Heels of Wanneroo. On your heels, yeah, he's bang on. The horse, that's the whole combination. Paddy, they're all very lovable, and the horse is as well, so makes for a pretty nice package. Okay, so sad hearing there are changes on the way. Been a great pleasure listening to you both over the years. Hopefully you are engaged under the new regime in some capacity. Here's an idea. You two could start a podcast and bring back Wes. I miss the humour. All the best. Forward, guys. That's always an option. Don't worry about that. That's our good mate, Mark Paratori. On your Mark. He is a ripper. What about the one here talking about that high-scoring game yesterday in the AFLW? I think it was Essendon 2-2-14. Hanging on to beat Sydney Swans 1-5-11 in an absolute ripper. It was a cliffy. Tony Idlebray's post-race trumpet spray was one for the ages. That's from Fred. He doesn't miss when it's on his terms, Tone. Can't ever remember tipping a winner at Mornington, so can't probably shunt this message into the graveyard. There is tips here for the Sunday Saviour today. There you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, tough venue, Mornington. I think a lot of the race clubs are saving themselves for Tuesday, aren't they, for Cup Day? So generally the Sunday before Cup Day is a bit light on. And old Blogsy's having a very good time over there in the VRC, day one of Flemington. Did you see the post-race party? Red carpet everywhere the man goes. Access all areas. So, yeah, he's found himself a very nice lurk in life. Okay, Shorty. Pleasure. Thanks, Marty. Enjoy your Sunday. Good luck for the Cup too, punters.